Today we'll be making a mortise and tenon joint. Firstly, we need to mark and rule a centre line down both pieces of timber. We do this so that we can line up both pieces of timber later on. Make sure to use a ruler and a square to make sure all lines are straight. Firstly, we have to make the tenon. A tenon is a projecting piece of wood made for an insertion into a mortise. So, to make this, we have to square a line around each edge and side of the tenon, like so. Once this is done, we can then start to mark out the tenon more. Now we have to determine the thickness of the tenon. In this case, it's 5mm in from each edge, which leaves us with a 10mm tenon thickness, as you can see here. Now I square down the edges and down the sides. Now I mark where my waist will be. This is handy so you do not cut the wrong piece. Now we have to mark the width of the tenon. This is the same procedure as what we've done for the thickness. Firstly, make 2 marks at your designated distance in from each edge. Then square the lines to make sure that everything will be perfect when it's time to cut. Now square across the ends so we can see clearly on every edge. Colour in the waist again so that we know where not to cut. Now, we have to set the drop saw to the designated depth. As you can see here, I've already done that. Now you're ready to cut. Run the saw through several times, cutting insertions as you go. Do this for the face sides and then the 2 ends, until everything has been cut away. Make sure when you're doing this you keep all your fingers clear from the blade. We don't want any injuries. After we've cut all that, we then need to chisel it clean to make sure that it is nice and neat and tidy to fit in the mortise. Now we need to make the mortise, which is a recessed cut into a part which is designed then to receive the corresponding projection, in this case the tenon. We then mark the width and the length of the mortise, as you can see here. After you mark it, then colour in the area that we wish to chisel. There are 2 sides to a chisel, the beveled side, which is the top side, and the flat side underneath. We place the beveled side of the chisel inwards. This will help keep the outside of the mortise nice and neat. So now we have to go around each of the lines that we've marked and punch the chisel in. This will help break the grain so that we have no splits or cracking during the chiseling process. Now, with the bevel side down, we can start working away at the waist in the middle of the mortise. Repeat the process of going around the edges, and then chisel away the middle again with the beveled edge. Repeat this process until you reach your desired depth. Make sure you keep repeating that process of breaking the grain with the flat edge of the chisel. This will definitely help reduce any chance of it cracking or splitting. Clean this joint up by scraping it with the chisel. Take extra care just to make sure it's a bit neat. Once it's clean, you can place the tenon into the mortise. If there's no gaps between the both pieces, the joint is complete.